Hello everyone. Uh, I am recording this video in my dining room, so please understand not really neat classroom environment. Today I'm going to briefly cover organizational structure, which is chapter 16. Before the spring break, we have focused on so-called software side of organization that include motivation, leadership, communication, stress management, and etc. Now we shift our attention to hardware side organization, which is organizational structure. Now, organizational theorists argue that without taking care of hardware side organization, some issues and problems will come again and again and again, which means we need to put our hands on the hardware side organization to fix that kind of problem. At chapter 16, I am going to highlight the way we look at the organizational structure. Let's say if you are asked to analyze a organizational structure, you may not quickly suggest how to analyze the structure itself. That sort of question can be roughly answered at chapter 16. Now, it is based on classical organizational theory, which means it doesn't take into account the many complicated factors that actually result in the shape and appearance of organization structure. While it is limited in terms of understanding organizational structure, the, the positive side of it include proposing the clear idea set when it comes to analyzing organizational structure. So the question is, first of all, how can we look at organizational structure itself? Now, the related articles include Max Weber and Gulig and Kazenkan, etc. They all suggest their own way of looking at organizational structure, and overall, their idea is based on the universal way of looking at organizational structure, beginning with the structural configuration. Now, when it comes to structural configuration, which can be a backbone for understanding organizational structure, you may want to look at organizational chart, which is a common way to understand organizational structure. But theoretically, I would suggest that we better focus on two main aspects of organizational structure. The first one is division of labor, which means how to divide the labor in an organization. And second one is how to coordinate the divided task, or how to control the divided task in an organization. Without having good way of coordination, there's no way to enjoy the benefit of division of labor. Now, beginning with the division of labor, we all understand the benefit of it. Industrial revolution begins with the division of labor or specialization. The problem is, while we enjoy that, we come to complain about specialization because our job is becoming more monotonous and we end up being so bored. So a lot of different suggestions were made to take care of that, but I'm going to put aside that details. Now let me switch to our attention to other aspect of organizational structure, which is coordination. So coordination begins with departmentalization, and span of control and administrative hierarchy. The way to make a department in an organization is actually the way to coordinate among divided labors. Now, Luther Gulick suggested that the proper level for span of control, and it all depends on the situation, so there's no magic number for span of control. But anyway, span of control also plays a critical role for securing coordination among divided labor. Now, as a last one, in terms of coordinating among divided tasks, I can add administrative hierarchy. Hierarchy, we're not a big fan of hierarchy. However, from organizational theorist perspective, it is essential to organization to enjoy the benefit of division of labor. So without having hierarchy, especially when it comes to a big organization, we're gonna be in a chaos prison. We're gonna lose our benefit coming from division of labor. So, in summary, the structural configuration provides a wonderful idea to understand the structure of organization. Now, in addition to that, I am going to add two more aspects of looking at organizational structure, which is operational characteristics and the way to share responsibility and authority. Now, some organizations focus on centralization. Other organizations focus on decentralization. It all depends on the organizations. But as an organizational theorist perspective, it is one good way of understanding organizational structure, how much it is centralized or decentralized, okay? Or how much they emphasize on participative management, inviting their employees' input to their decision making. Or how much they are formalized, or how much they are bureaucratic in their structure. These kind of ideas lead to a nice way of understanding organizational structure. Now, when you look at Max Weber's idea of bureaucracy, which was actually suggested based on professional way of managing the organizations among Catholic Church, and Max Weber actually suggested this idea as a genuine and genius breakthrough to take care of amateurism prevailed at the time. And the details are explained at chapter 16, especially table 16.2. So I'm not going to touch that. And another classical views of structure is Henry Fayol's principles of organization, which begins with planning, organizing, command, coordination, and control. And table 16.3 explains the details of Henry Fayol's idea of organizing as a principle. And Henry Fayol is actually the first scholar who took a comprehensive analysis and reviewing organizations. And these 14 principles have been adopted by many in the following era. And it simply put, Henry Fayol contributed a lot to organizational theory field. Now, one other example is Francis Likert, human organizations. Likert human organization look at organization characteristics in terms of leadership, motivational forces, and communication, and interaction, influence, and etc., which is detailed in table 16.4. And using those different aspects of organizations, Likert categorized organizations into 4 different systems, beginning with exploitative, authoritative, to participative group. So, according to Likert idea, the participative group is most desirable types of organizational structure. Now, again, this classical view of organizational structure does not consider related factors, which is actually taken care of by contemporary organizational structure theorists. But again, chapter 16 provides us with a nice idea of looking at organizational structure. Okay, more details will be coming up in the next chapter, which is consistent with contemporary organizational structure. Now, when we look at organizational structure and analyze it, or identifying issues and problems, this classical view of organizational structure helps us a lot. Actually, it is straightforward and nice and clean set of organizational structure. And so, although it does not consider the related factors, but still it is beneficial to organizational theory students like us, and especially when it comes to organizational structure and its analysis. I think this is pretty much of what I intend to give a lecture tonight. I don't intend to hold you so long, and I think it is a good start for understanding organizational structure, hardware side of organization. Okay. Now again, you're not alone. I am here and willing to help you. Although I'm not comfortable with this online class format at all, I know many of you are in the same situation, but let's do our best. And I really hope you guys don't have major issues doing your assignment and doing your organizational analysis and doing your term paper in this class. And after all, I believe you're gonna have really good eyes to analyze diverse aspects of organizations. That's what I hope. Thank you. See you next time.